Para esas madres que son madres y padres y sueñan con un futuro mejor para sus hijos. Para esas abuelas que se convirtieron en madres una vez más, entregando lo mejor de sí. Para esos padres que a pesar del cansancio, siempre encuentran la fuerza para seguir. Para aquellos familiares que a pesar de la distancia, apoyan el futuro de los suyos. Con esfuerzo y esperanza, las familias construyen sueños. Con conocimiento, la UAO los transforma en realidad. Estudian la UAO.
Querida comunidad UAO, soy Diego Hernández Lozada, rector de nuestra universidad. Como recuerdan, el año pasado estuvimos en el proceso de autoevaluación con fines de renovación de nuestra acreditación institucional de alta calidad. Como resultado, te quiero presentar los 5 puntos más relevantes de los factores 1 y 2. El primero es que confirmamos que nuestra misión es coherente con el compromiso de formar a nuestros estudiantes de forma integral, de generar conocimiento y contribuir a la solución de problemas a todo nivel, a partir de la docencia, la investigación y nuestra proyección social. El segundo es que nuestra visión nos proyecta como una universidad que potencia el desarrollo de la región a partir de todas nuestras capacidades y de nuestra comunidad UAO, lo que permitirá posicionarnos como un referente de creatividad, inclusión, innovación, sostenibilidad y vocación de y para la comunidad. El tercer punto tiene que ver con que actualizamos nuestro proyecto educativo institucional PEI, el cual está centrado en nuestros estudiantes y tiene 4 principios de calidad. La UAO como una universidad de y para la comunidad, una universidad sostenible como agente de cambio, la UAO como ecosistema y una comunidad habilitada en un entorno altamente digital. El cuarto es que ratificamos que nuestro gobierno institucional está estructurado con funciones claras y delimitadas. Nuestro Consejo Superior, el Consejo Académico, los consejos de facultad tienen representación de nuestra comunidad UAO, es decir, estudiantes, profesores, egresados, directivos y sector externo, que son elegidos de forma democrática. Y el último aspecto clave de estos 2 factores es la transparencia, como eje de nuestra gestión, la cual se evidencia en el portal de transparencia UAO, permitiendo que cualquier persona pueda ver cómo la universidad, como entidad sin ánimo de lucro, invierte sus recursos. Así que extiendo la invitación para que lo visiten. Estos son los 5 puntos claves de los factores 1 y 2 para nuestra renovación de la acreditación institucional en alta calidad. Recuerda que el éxito de este proceso es compromiso de todos nosotros.
Welcome to WOW Speaks English.
A streaming program with a radio format made by the students for the world.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to WOW Speaks English. As you know, I'm one of your hosts, teacher Brenda Garcia. And guys, we're having an amazing episode that is about fake news generated by AI. In this opportunity, we are definitely very, very, very glad to make this episode in collaboration with the Federal University of Sergipe from Brazil, right? So let me introduce today my host. Hello, Manu.
Hi, teacher.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm elated to be here.
Nice. That's awesome. Hello, Gus.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. What about you?
Sweetie, pretty cool. orange today everywhere, but I'm very glad. And our guest from Colombia, the teacher Andres Camilo. Hello, professor.
Hi guys, thanks for having me. I'm really
No,
excited.
thanks to you for accepting the invitation because he's the expert, right?
Oh my God, so nervous.
That's right. I know. But you did it nicely. Also, we want to say hello to our experts online and also one of our hosts from Brazil. Hello, Tiago.
Hello everyone, how are you?
Hello. So today, hello.
Hello,
Hi.
Diego.
Hello, Tiago. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing fine. And what about you guys?
We are doing pretty cool. We're excited about this episode, right?
Actually.
You see.
Yeah.
And a lot.
So there you go. Welcome one more time. And we're having
you very
the
much.
professor. You're welcome, sweetie. And we're having the professor Alexandra. Dear Alexandra, how are you?
It's very nice to be here with you all. Can you see me well? Can you hear me well?
Yeah, we can hear you well. Absolutely. Don't worry. There you go. So before to start, the Dr. Alexander, can you talk a little about yourself? Maybe introduce a little about you. Who's Alexandra?
Yes, of course. So my name is Alessandra. I'm originally from Aracaju, Sergipe, and I'm an English teacher. I've been an English teacher for over 29 years now, and I have a I have a doctorate in education, and my line of research is specifically languages and technologies. And in my doctoral program, I focus my studies on the impact of generative artificial intelligence, the platforms, that generate text, and the impact on the conception of writing.
Oh my God, that's pretty cool, right? Yeah. Thank you, doctor. And Tiago, could you introduce a little about yourself? Who's Tiago?
Okay, perfect. So good evening, everyone. Afternoon, actually, evening here where I am. So I'm a PhD student at the Federal University of Sergipe. I'm doing my PhD, and right now I'm in Italy. So that's why I said good evening, because right now it's 9 p.m. And I'm studying about also with AI and algorithmic bias and relating that to the teaching of English. So I'm very happy to be talking about these topics with you guys today.
Okay, pretty good. Thank you very much, Tiago. And obviously, I have to ask the teacher Andres to introduce yourself.
Okay.
I mean, we know you here on the set, but let's know the audience about you.
Of course. Well, it's nice to meet you all. And I'm a journalist first. Before I became a teacher, a professor, I work as a journalist. And my focus is digital journalism. In the WOW, I coordinate the journalist area and postgraduate programs. So this is my focus here in the WOW.
Okay, there you go. Pretty cool. Also, guys, we want to invite you to follow us on our social media. That is Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I always forget the social media. As well as Speaks English 2.0. Guys, you can participate in this amazing episode here in the chat or send your comments through WhatsApp, okay? So what other information we have, Manu?
That's right. And start getting in contest. Let's see what our audience think about today's topic. So we invite you to participate by scanning the QR code and send us your audio messages about it. Tell us your name, what semester you are, and if you're studying in different university or institution, please name it. In addition, letting us in our YouTube chat where you are watching the show from.
Yes, and remember that you can participate by scanning the QR code and answering some of these questions. Of course, not all of them. Tiago, tell us about those questions.
All right, so these are the questions. First, where do you usually get your news? The second question, do you think it's hard to know what the real news is today and why? Third question, do you think AI makes the problem of fake news bigger? How? And the last one, imagine you seeing a news story, and what are the two things you check to see if it's real or fake? So you can send them in the chat or an audio message through WhatsApp.
Okay, thank you, Tiago. So good. Let's go with it. What do you think?
A
Have you ever wondered what other people think about stuff? Do you also want to express your opinion?
Join us on WhatsApp and send your voice messages to start a conversation.
Welcome to What Do You Think About It?
Where do you usually get your news?
Usually get my news through social media or sometimes in the lunch by TV.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Elton Matos and I'm from Brazil. I usually get my news from TikTok, from Instagram, essentially social media.
Hi, my name is Brandon. I'm from Brazil. I usually get my news from independent sources online. They come from Instagram, sometimes Twitter, sometimes websites, independent websites. But I also check my sources every time I try to check my sources every time I have something new or something important. The problem with knowing what's real or not nowadays, I think it's AI is becoming very smart on the way of showing, generating pictures and videos. So it's becoming less and less evident when something is created, generated, or if it's real. So it's very important to know when it's real or not, but it's becoming very difficult to do it just with an eye.
Hi, my name is Leticia, and I'm 20 years old. And I usually get my information through TikTok, sometimes through Google. I think it's G1, I guess. And sometimes from Instagram. And I think it's pretty hard nowadays to know if the informations are real or not, especially through I would say newspaper through internet. Like you think it is a real person, but it's like something made from internet.
Wow, I think that everybody, thank you for your participation recording the videos. But I think that we can summarize that basically most of the people are checking or getting the news from social media, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that one is something that is nowadays very common, and especially in the new generations. I mean, new generation checking TV is not like their thing. I think it's more like a previous generations. In your case, Manu, where do you usually get your news?
As a student social communications, I'm getting information through social media and some like 90 Minutos, País.
It's like a news a channel of news.
Yes.
Official
Yes.
news. Yes, I mean that one is the thing that everybody say. Yes, social media, Instagram, X,
TikTok.
Twitter,
Yes.
TikTok.
Yeah.
But what are like those channels that you usually check, right? That one is, I think, is important.
Yeah.
So in your case, 90 Minutos and
El País.
TV channels on
TV
newspapers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, Gus.
Me too. I research on first El Tiempo. Second, I use if it's about. It depends of the theme. If I'm like looking out for something that happened in Cali, Cali es Cali. Or 90 Minutos, and those are like my channels when I get the news from.
Okay, interesting. Well, I want to ask Thiago and Alexandra in Brazil, like at those channels or official news that you can check the information. They say, okay, it's trust. You can trust in there.
So do you want to go first, Alessandra?
You can go first, dear. Don't
Okay.
worry.
So usually I get my news on social media also, so mainly on Twitter, because Twitter, I guess, is the one that gets like really updated really fast. And I get my news from the G1. I guess it was mentioned in the videos that you played before. G1 is like from the global communication, like there's a big communication in Brazil. And it's very trustworthy. Sometimes when there's a news that's very big news, they tend to wait 20 minutes or 30 minutes than the other channels because they want to verify if it's true. So it's more reliable than the other ones. And sometimes it's kind of weird because I get some news through memes on Twitter because the last time I saw Trump said something about autism, and I saw that news from a meme, and then I saw this meme. And I was like, what is this meme talking about? And then I went to research on G1, and G1 said that he talked about autism and the correlation with the medical pill. So yeah, it's through memes and verifying in other fonts.
Okay, interesting. It's also good to know like the official news or places that you can check on Brazil. Alexandra?
Well, I do the same, Brenda and Tiago and everyone over there. I wish I'd be there. It's so nice. I feel the energy from here. It's so good. So I do the same. Like I get my news. Like I find information on Instagram, G1. I do it all the time as well. But then the thing is, like when there's something very like a drama or something, or you kind of like observe and then really check. I do this, especially for things said by Trump, as Tiago mentioned. I saw this one as well. I usually tend to go through other websites and actually see maybe the news from that specific country, for example. But overall, like basically Instagram and G1, I do this all the time too, because it's very easy, right?
Okay, pretty cool. Thank you very much. And Professor Andres, in your case, that you're the expert.
I think I am the old soul in the room.
Yeah.
Because I every single day in the morning listen to radio broadcast. That is my first source of information. For example, in my case, I listen to W Radio. That is my favorite media in Colombia in the radio. On the radio, and then I check the websites from the newspaper in the region here in Cali, and then Colombia, and then international media, New York Times, El País from Spain, and then I check in social media.
Oh my God. So yes, really, you're the old school radio. Oh my God. But it's good because a lot of people like to do that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Gus, can you read the comment there?
Ana Karina de Oliveira Nacimiento says that she usually gets her news from TV channels, but I always check more than one source.
You see, that one is the idea.
Yeah.
To be honest, guys, I don't usually check national news. I just check the international ones and the local ones. So the international, New York Times, I like it, or the BBC. The other that is Deutsche Welle, that is German. I mean, it's really good, and they have a really, really good covering in Latin America. And sorry to say this, guys. Sorry, Andres. But in the local news, I check Cali. Sorry. But I mean, when something happened with the traffic or any situation, that one is the first source that came up immediately with information. Right, Gus?
Yes.
I mean, if it's true or not, I don't know.
Sorry, not sorry, actually.
Yeah, sorry, not too sorry, but anyway. Manu, can you read the comment from Agnes?
Agnes said, to be honest, I also get most of my information from social media these days, always trying to get from different sources.
Oh, you see, that's the idea. But now, little by little, we're going to check how to identify those trusted sources, right? So, my Goose, can you play one WhatsApp audio, please? Hold on, guys. It's working.
Hi, my name is Mariana Cifuentes, and I usually get my news from social media like Instagram or TikTok. Sometimes I also watch the news on TV, although it's very unusual. I think it's easy to see new things there every day, but not all news is true, so I try to check before I believe it.
Oh, you see, thank you, Marina. Marina, I mean, has a good point. I mean, yes, social media, but she tries to check the source is real or not. That's a good point.
She's prepared.
Yeah, but not everybody does that. That's the thing, right? So, good. Let's go with the next segment that is Tip Talk.
Many things happen every day at our campus.
Let's discuss them at Tip Talk.
Okay. Now we're in the core of this episode. So we're having 3 segments. in which we're going to talk deeper about these fake news generated by AI. So let's go with the first segment, Manu.
The first segment is the AI deception, define the new threat, the basics. So I would like to show you some image about the Pope, and I would like to ask some people, what do you think about the controversy of this image?
Okay, so give us a second, Gustavo. Sweetie, can you show us the picture about the Pope? I mean, everybody, teacher, what the Pope, the Pope. I mean, when you see this picture, I think that you automatically remind. So I think that one was last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the Pope in a Balenciaga puffer jacket. So, sweetie, remember what was the controversy of that image?
Have you seen this image?
I saw it, but in a meme. It was so funny because I thought that it was real. So I was like, oh my God, he's so iconic. I want to be like
You
him.
think that was really cool?
Yes. I was like, wow.
I mean, if you notice, I think what's controversial because everybody knows that this Pope, Benedict, I don't know what his name.
Francisco.
Sorry. Francis Pope. I mean, if you notice, he was like very open-minded in many things.
Yes.
So when the picture came up, everybody thought was real, right?
I believe it.
You see? So, Alexandra, do you remember this picture about the Pope?
I do remember it, yes. but I knew right away it was fake. But then I said, this will cause problems because people will probably wow, think it was true and everything. Because he really caused caught a lot of attention, right? He had the way he presented himself and the way he connected with people. So that's I had this first impression because of him, the way he interacted with the world, with young people and everything. But then I was sure it was it was fake. Yeah, I was already research doing research about it. So then I was connected with the theme. I said, that's a good one.
Yes, for sure. I mean, and also because if you notice, I mean, the Pope faces was very, very real. It was so realistic that you couldn't imagine that it was fake.
Yes.
Right?
Actually.
But the real content is not real because it was generated in 2023, using the My Journey and an artificial intelligence that create image from the text descriptions.
Mm-hmm.
So the controversy are because many people, especially seniors and adults, believe that it was real photograph which spread quickly across social media. And also with that information, we have some key definition about the fake news. We have three. The first one is missing information. It's about false information shared without the intention to cause harm. For example, sharing the AI generate image of the Pope believing is real. The second one is disinformation. It's about false information created or shared with the intention of deceiving or causing harm. Example is deliberate posting the image claiming is authentic to manipulate opinions. And finally is malinformation. Is that is true, but usually in misleading or harmful way. For example, sharing real private information to damage some people's reputation.
Yes. That the problem with the malinformation is nowadays that they're using especially for politics, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Now with these political campaigns, guys, it's a nightmare these days, right?
Yeah.
Teacher Andre, do you want to say something more about the difference about misinformation, disinformation, malinformation? I mean,
think
all finishing information.
I think that the category false fake news
Mhm.
is really controverted because the news, news gender, are always true. So when you say fake news, it's like you are saying that everything we do in media it could be fake, but the news are always true. are verified. So fake news is like a category that you can that is like minimize
Like a reducing,
the
yeah.
can reduce the context and the debate. The real problem is disinformation, like the major thing.
Ah, you see, guys, interesting. No, it's because everybody, I mean, everybody's socializing and spreading the word about fake news, fake
Yes.
news, fake news. But it's a good point. You see that way, the good point to have experts. Okay, Manu, can you mention the fake news that we check about the one in Colombia?
Yes, we have some fake news about el Ministerio de Salud y Protección Social de Colombia. It's about the Ministry of Health and Social Protection quickly denied the rumor because he explaining that it was fake news that caused unnecessary panic among citizens. This case illustrates how misinformation can harm society by spreading fear and confusion. And artificial intelligence has made the problem worse since AI tools can now generate realistic text, image, or videos that look authentic, making it increasingly difficult for people to distinguish between the true and fiction.
That's right. I mean, something that Manu mentioned here, it was that misinformation at the beginning of the year, especially on Twitter, that now is called X, that someone, we don't know the user because, I mean, it was crazy, that in Colombia, the number of the percentage of people with AIDS,
HIV, yes.
yeah, increase in a huge number in Colombia.
Yes.
And they start with the memes, they start also spreading other information. So the minister in Colombia that is about health and social protection say, okay, we need to hear us. This is false. There is no trusted research investigation about this in Colombia. But just because someone mentioned AIDS and increased the percentage in Colombia, people that are with that disease, it was
I
a
think,
viral news.
Teacher Brenda, that maybe, I don't know, maybe the case isn't misinformation, it is disinformation.
Ah, okay, you see.
Because disinformation is when you do intentionally with the objective to cause harm or do a damage. And this kind of information, when you don't have the contrast and when you have the verified information, is, for example, causes discrimination to LGBT people, or causes also worry and and I want to say that the HIV thing, AIDS themes is all right now is that is curable. The curable isn't the word, but it's treatable, and
Yeah.
is like a really normal disease. So when you put adjectives in these titles and do like this
Like an alert.
like
I
a big
know.
alert
Uh-huh.
about this, you the people don't understand the deep of the information, the deep of the problem that is.
Okay, you see, guys, that's why we're having the experts. That one is disinformation.
Yes.
Just to be sure. Thank you very much. Well, I know that we're having another comments, right? Another comments on YouTube. One moment, guys, one moment. Here we are. Okay. So we are gonna check the comments on YouTube. Okay. Can you read that one, Gus?
Okay, Maria Eugenia Vargas Lozano says that she always get confused thinking AI videos are real. She believed that the video from the kangaroo, oh my, me too, trying to get in a plane, it was true.
Don't worry, Maria Eugenia, you were not the only one.
No, I was 100% sure. I knew that it was fake, but in my heart it was real.
Okay, Gus. Manu, can you read that one?
Eduardo said, also, I feel like for someone who's educated about AI, it's easy to distinguish AI generate fake news, although I feel like it's going to get harder to do so.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, yesterday I was checking on Instagram and social, the feed, checking things, videos, and it was really surprising because I saw a video that it was shared by the news from Peru. I don't know how trusted is this, but I mean, it was official news website, I mean, account on Instagram, and they shared the video of an amazing daughter saving her grandma from a tiger attack. I mean, they were like at the zoo, and her mom was like there in the fence, and the fence fall off, and also the mother.
The mother.
And she was like a face to face with the tiger, and I mean, very, very brave. The daughter jumped and
Mhm.
saved the mom. I said, "Oh my God, what is this?" I mean, we know because as Sergio mentioned, we have like some training maybe about AI. Was going to come on is fake, but I mean that official news on Instagram that many people see that one and they share that kind of video. I mean, it's also concerning, right?
Yes.
More that you know that you are in this part of the academic for future journalists and communicators.
And every day, in the comment of Maria Camila Redondo, she says something that I want to take note, because nowadays, or I don't know if it's Maria Camila or the other user, say that every day is going to be harder to identify what is real and what is fake when the content that you see on social media.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, just starting with the video of the kangaroo in the airplane. You say, "Oh my God, so cute," but you know that animal is not that way. It doesn't behave in that way.
You know what is funny? That I thought that, I mean, the kangaroo had a little passport.
No.
And I thought that it was so cute. And I was like, oh my God, she's really going to get the kangaroo on the plane. And the kangaroo was like with her little hands, like, and I was like, oh my God.
Like a little kid.
I saw that.
Well, and then Alexandra and Tiago, do you see that video?
I was going to say that I haven't seen this one yet. I want to see it. But let me be honest with you all. Like I was watching one like maybe some months ago about animals. And then it was so like, I think it was something like a bear being rescued, by some like a group of professionals. And then my lack of knowledge about wild animals led me to think that for a minute that was like, oh, that's so nice. That's interesting. And then I automatically like sent this to a friend. And then I said, look at this. And he said, it's fake, right? And I said, yeah. But then I honestly, like for 2 seconds, it was so real. So the interesting thing is like, the more you know about something, the more background you know about a topic, then the easier for you will be like to realize, oh, that's not true, that's not real. I was just reflecting about that.
Yeah, and also because in some way that kind of bit of information play with our emotions. Have you seen these days that there are also spread or got viral on the internet those videos from Sora with cats?
Yes.
With cats like doing human chores?
Yes.
Human chores?
Yeah, human activities.
Like a story with cats?
No, it's not story. It's like the cat doing something like a human. But the cat looks like a normal cat, right?
Yes.
Like a cooking or helping kids from a bigger animal. And everybody say, oh my God, it's real. But as the Dr. Alexandra said, I mean, maybe because we had some training in some way in AI, we can differentiate. But these people that are, for example, seniors, adults, that they are not used to do these kind of things, like, oh my God, cats are getting intelligent. I mean, guys, come on. They're intelligent, but in a way, right?
Actually.
So that's what I say, that they play with our emotions, because many people like cats. So definitely you want to believe.
The cats are always viral on internet.
Yes.
Yeah, especially, I remember with the memes.
Yes.
I mean, the cats memes are the best. Okay, let's go with the second segment. Tiago, what is yours?
Well, perfect. So going to the second segment, we are going to see some case studies and some consequences, and bring a Latin American perspective. And now that we got to know these concepts about misinformation, disinformation, let's talk about some examples like the fake news in Brazil and Colombia. So, because when you look at Brazil and Colombia, we can see that fake news often plays with people's biggest fears and beliefs. Like, for example, in Colombia, one of the most viral fake stories was about the Pietro's government cattle extermination plan, because it spread among farmers and rural communities, making them believe that the government was going to destroy the livestock industry. Even though this was completely false, it spread because it touched something that is very real, and a lot of people worried about their income and their survival. And that also happens in Brazil. Like, for example, but it focuses on other cultural and moral topics, especially those that involve children. Like a clear example is the so-called like gay kit that was a fake news, a fake claim that the government was giving materials to schools to teach kids to become gay. So this rumor started around 2018, right in the elections. So in the elections is the time period where this fake news start to come out like bigger and like spread faster. And even though it has been proven false like many times, this gay kit was proven that it was false, it still reappears on social media from time to time. And other topics, like more recently a report from G1 that we mentioned, me and Alessandra mentioned before. One of Brazil's main news showed that the most common fake news today is about Pix, Bolsa Família, and vaccines. And just to explain briefly to someone who is not Brazilian, Pix is a free instant payment system that was created by Central Bank of Brazil, and it allows people to send or receive money in seconds, like using just your phone or an ID. And this kind of transfer, you don't have to pay any fees, different from the other ways that we used to transfer money before Pix was created. And Bolsa Familia is a long-standing social program that provides a monthly financial support to poor and vulnerable families in Brazil. It helps millions of Brazilians with basic needs such as food, housing, and education for their children. And when there is a fake news related to both of these things, the goal of this fake news is to make people distrust the government. For example, by saying that Pix is being used to monitor citizens, or that Bolsa Familia will be canceled or changed unfairly. And these false stories, like, they target the groups who depended the most on these programs and can easily create like confusion or even fear. So in both Brazil and Colombia, this fake news spread easily because of how social media works. About strong political divisions, and the fact that many people, like we saw and like we even talk here, many people are not used to check information online and depend on disinformation from social media. So according to a journal from Latin Journalist Review, both these countries, Brazil and Colombia, they are among the worst in Latin America when it comes to identifying false content online. So, and the fact checkers, they say that's not surprising, because many people from these countries, we still get our news from WhatsApp and Facebook without checking if it's true. And it can be a topic for another program, but you can see the strong influence of WhatsApp and Facebook, like the two both have from strong influence of Meta in these countries. So,
Oh my God, no, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, you mentioned like two perfect examples, Diego, about the fake news. I know that is another name that teacher Andres mentioned, but can't remember.
Information.
Disinformation.
And disinformation, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting about this. But you know, something that caught my attention that Diego mentioned is that actually, from all the Latin American countries, Brazil and Colombia are the worst in Latin America checking if the information is false. Guys, we need to work on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, we know because we are maybe into this industry, and also because we are like trying to identify the content. Maybe we here on the set and you online, we check the information, but the other people outside, maybe they don't usually do it, right? I mean, that's crazy to believe, for sure. So, sweetie, I was typing a question on the chat here on YouTube, and sweeties, do you remember another fake news or another misinformation?
I remember one. That
Which
is
one?
just like 2 or 3 months ago, here in Colombia, for our guest, and the media published a news that a girl in the coast, Caribbean coast in Colombia, calls ChatGPT and her last name. Like parents, like some parents go to. It was obviously a joke, but in the first time it wasn't. Parents they go to the registraduría. That it is like, I don't know how to say that.
Well, registraduría is like a place where
When
you take
you-
your newborn to register
Yes.
officially with the name and last name.
The parents go to the registraduría and register the name of her son, her daughter, sorry, of her daughter, like ChatGPT, I don't know, Lopez, or I don't know the last name, and all
Like
the
a ChatGPT
media,
dos Santos.
and all them, and a lot of media, Colombian media and serious media,
Serious media, spread
publish
the word.
and
Yes.
it's published one media, one really serious, well, serious kind of serious, publish the news on in like in the first time, and then the other just copy and paste and spread this really this is, I don't know, maybe this could be misinformation, but turns disinformation.
Yes, just because the
Because
serious
maybe-
media publish it, I mean, he changes.
Yes, maybe at the first time was like a joke, and some people believe it, and then became a disinformation that the registraduría was like pressured to publish a communicate that
That say that is not true.
saying that this isn't true, that isn't true, that in all the registers in Colombia wasn't this name, and of course all the
Oh
media
my
that
gosh.
published just go to delete it and didn't express the sorry of the audience for
Yeah, the apologies for
the
the-
apologies for doing this mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that one, of course, of course. Well, Tiago, I know that you are now in Italy, but do you remember a fake news or a misinformation in Brazil or Italy, Alexandra, that you say, oh my God, I remember this one? And also the audience in the chat, do you remember any fake news? I know there is so much information. These days is more with videos.
Yes. Now I feel kind of dumb because I thought that of the ChatGPT name was real. And I was looking at Manuela like, oh my God, I was still believing that it was true.
And then the curious thing was that then a journalist on Twitter, on X, published a thread that explained face to face how they built and create this fake news, and then go to ChatGPT himself and write a news that some parents call her daughter ChatGPT Lopez. I don't know I can't remember the last, name. And this guy published the answer of ChatGPT and then compared to the original news that published the traditional media was the same. So his theory was this journalist from this media was asking to ChatGPT to create a fake news and then spread intentionally on the platforms and then on social media. And then a lot of medias in Colombia copy and paste. And
They
that
didn't
is the
verify the
reason-
source.
They didn't verify the source, and that is the reason why Gus still believe it.
Yeah.
Till today.
Until now, I was looking at Manuela like, oh my God, I'm so dumb.
No, it's because, as I mentioned before, I think that when we talk about this misinformation, disinformation is to play with those topics that you know that are connected with the people.
Yes, but you know, Gus, you're not dumb. That really is a major problem in the world. It's like the disinformation is, and it's gonna be it's gonna be a terrible problem, and more deeper that we think, because the digital illiteracy, I don't know how to say this,
Literacy,
the digital is gonna be really broad in the next years, in the next months, because the advance and the velocity of the artificial intelligence tools are exponential.
Yeah. That's for sure. Actually, sweeties, I was checking because I love TikTok. Sorry, I love TikTok, but I like the content because I mean, the system knows my preferences, so I always check content related to checking information. Well, I'm learning Mandarin, so also Mandarin training things and all that stuff. But it caught my attention that he shows me a video about because we were working about an episode about Korea and these K-pop things, and he continues sending me videos about that, and I was definitely shocked with a video about a new K-pop band. And you look at the guys, I mean, typical Korean standard, white, thin, slim, dye hair, all that stuff. Yeah, pale skin with a very very soft skin makeup. And I say, okay, because my attention it was that the leader of the band was a black Asian.
Okay.
I mean, but I say like, oh my god, hold on.
That
I know that
is
is possible, but I know for my students because the students tell me everything. That one is not real. It's not real because my students always show me information. Because I have a friend that she's a Korean teacher, so they say, teacher, I want to learn Korean. Go. So for that reason, I know that that group doesn't exist. And I check with my students, okay, do you know about this group? No, teacher, that one is with AI. Got it. You see, guys?
But on TikTok, sometimes some users create stories like 15 with a different boy band that is not real. But
I think was a video with Donald Trump, right?
Yes,
That they use the voice.
the case that you bring to the table is there is you remember you sorry. I used to remember that we have a digital journalist that is a fake journalist, artificial journalist, like this called that meta humans, and these bands calls meta bands, meta boy bands, human boy bands. That is all fake or artificial. But here in Colombia, we have a media and Noticias Caracol that create this digital journalist that is a fake journalist that has an Instagram account, and he's talking about science and sustainability, and he got a lot of followers. So it's more common than you think that these meta humans, meta influencers, meta boy bands are really really common.
Guys, new generation. Okay, let's go with the last segment. You see, guys, we're always running out of time. Let's go with the last segment, my goose.
Okay, this segment is called The Path Forward, Solutions and Responsibility. In this segment, we want to emphasize that fighting fake news is a skill, not just a task. There are some options to fight fake news, and of course, we'll share them with you. First of all, educational strategies for AI age. Move beyond traditional media literacy and discuss the need to teach. Critical ignoring, that is the skill to identify and dismiss low-quality information quickly. Lateral reading, that is fact-checking by opening new tabs to verify a source and credibility while reading. AI literacy, that is understanding how generative AI works and its inherent limitation or biases. And the ethical responsibility, that is a panel discussion with the professor and students, and topic that is who is responsible, platform accountability, creator ethics, and our individual duty not to share unverified information. Call to action and tools, and with empowerment, showcase useful tools like reverse image search and reputable fact-checking websites. I want to ask Camilo and Alessandra how to fight this fake news and with AI talking, or how can we, any tips about it, how to identify them?
Yeah, how to identify fake news, yes.
The users and students that are participating in the YouTube channel are having these really good tips. That is, you need to contrast with a lot of sources. Don't believe just one source. If you get your news from TikTok or any other social media, or like in my case that I consult the traditional media, that even in that case, you don't have to trust just in only one source. you need to contrast with a lot of sources. But my advice is like not only media or journalist sources, also contrast with the official websites of the government.
Mm-hmm.
Then go to the university pages and
Okay.
contrast with the news and the publish that the university centers or think tanks publish, and then you can like build your own map of information, so you get the full frame, and you don't only get source of information, so you can like have this panorama and a really
A broader
a
view.
broad perspective.
Okay. And teacher, well, Professor Alexandra, how about you? Do you have any tips on how to identify fake news or misinformation, things like that?
I completely agree with all this information that Tiago, no, sorry, Andre said right
Yeah.
now. The journalist Andre, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
and I try to do this, Andre, all the time, and I try to make these comments like with my students and with people, especially my family members, older ones that sometimes are just dragged by echo chambers and just like the future bubbles that keep them like checking the same misinformation sometimes. But then one thing that I also think it's interesting is just if you observe sometimes, of course, the level of image generation, for example, nowadays it's really high. But then if you observe, you can see sometimes, let's say, it's a lot of perfection there, or you observe that some traits of a person, or maybe this was like easier before, but then now it's becoming more challenging. But even nowadays you can observe the images very deep, with a lot of detail and a lot of attention. If you have, for example, something with like a date, you can also go and check, if there's something with like a page, sometimes you can see there that the address of that website, there's something wrong with it. So these are things that can also help, I believe. And understanding, I think, the more we talk about how easy it is to create fake news and misinformation in schools, the more like we'll become aware of like knowing that right after you see some news, you just go and check. I think because as time goes by, just by looking at the image, it will become much more difficult. But you can still see. But then we cannot like guarantee, so I think that education actually in schools, like learning, dealing with students, showing them some news and asking them to discuss, I think this would be, let's say, long-term investment, I'd say.
That's right. Now that you were talking, Alexandra, I remember that here in Colombia there is a website, right?
There is it's on
Colombia fake, no,
Colombian Check. Colombian Check is
that
like
one.
a journalist project but it's also in other countries in Latin America.
Yeah, Gus, can you show the slide, the presentation? I know that we have like an image about the one in Colombia, the other in Brazil. Because I know that here is Colombia Check, right?
Colombia Check is like a project. There is like similar projects in other countries in Latin America, and also you can check APF Factual. That is the French Agency of Press. I don't know if I say it correct, but in Spanish is like APF Factual.
APA, okay, APA Factual. There we go. That one, I mean, Colombia is Colombian Check, and Brazil is, I don't know the pronunciation, sorry about the Portuguese. Bereia?
Bereia.
Okay. So I think maybe those websites also you can get some support. But guys, I want to ask you something to Alexandra and the teacher Andres Camilo. I know that in your case, with the new generation, we have like those chances to educate these generations to check and identify the fake news. But how about these people that are seniors, that are really, really adults, that they are like always checking the first source is the first one that comes up with the idea and they don't verify?
Yes,
I mean, how can we deal with them? Because actually, if you know the population, the majority is within.
yes. These are is a huge
Challenge.
challenge because um, the illiteracy digitalism um, is changing so fast. But I think that all is a solution is the education and a good communication. We need to have access to good information sources. That we need media that do good journalism. That we need to also ask to our governments that regulates. I don't know if this is the word that like a politics about AI in
Mhm.
our context, because all the
Okay.
AI developments that we are receiving are from the global north,
Okay.
and we only here in Latin America we are only using this. And here in Colombia, there is a national politics that the government is discussing in the Congress that to regulate the artificial intelligence and the access for preserve jobs, educate people, but
Mhm.
we need to pressure them to get more harder and more faster.
Yeah, definitely faster and harder. So, what about Tiago and Alexander in Brazil? What do you think about the role of the government with this AI influence in people's lives? I mean, with information. I know that teacher, like Professor Alexandra, with the writing example, have you noticed that AI has changed the way how people think, how people write?
Um, I think just thinking about your other question, like I would say
Mm-hmm.
that campaigns, educational campaigns
Mm-hmm.
for the populace, just like we educate people that vaccination is important. So like educating people with like this, about this. So so you have access to lots of news. So you've got to be aware that some of these news are created to manipulate you, they are created like in a way to cause harm. So like disinformation and everything. So I think these campaigns are important as well. And in terms of like the way like we think when we are writing, I believe that these platforms, they thinking about like Brazil, for example, we see that we already had some challenges related to regarding, for example, critical thinking. This has always been like our one of our main goals. Researchers, educators, we are always like trying our best to develop critical thinking with our students. But then this is something that no matter like, of course, depending on the technology, we are going to have like more challenges. And right now we are having like a big one. The thing is, thinking like asking questions is an important way to help to educate someone, to form someone to become a citizen that is able to question. And then if we have, for example, these platforms or the way the education system is, for example, without like just focusing on having tests in the end of high school to go to university, for example, what happens throughout all these years, sometimes they're focused on content, without like leading, connecting with, let's say, real life and making like students citizens that they can, for example, get suspicious if there's like, oh, this is not new, this is not fake, this is not real, this is probably fake, let me check. And then I think it gets very easy with the writing, because writing is actually very hard cognitively, emotionally. it challenges us, so that if you have a machine, like a platform that writes easily for you, this can obviously like impact, this development of critical thinking.
Okay. Well, guys, we are already 3 o'clock. Well, 5 p.m. already in Brazil. So, sweetie, we have to wrap up the show. Yeah. But thank you very much. I think that everybody learned something new today, right?
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Tiago. Thank you very much, Professor Alexandra. Thank you, Andres. Thank you, Gus. Thank you, Manu. Thank you, everybody. Thanks to the audience. Thanks for your participation in the chat. And guys, thank you very much. See you the next Thursday with an episode about esotericism.
Oh my God.
Guy, yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. I don't know what is going to happen, but it's gonna be great. Yeah. So thank you, Tiago. Thank you, Alexandra.
Thank you
Bye,
very
everybody.
Bye bye.
Thank you,
Thanks to
everyone.
you.
Very nice
Take
meeting you.
care. Bye. Thank you very much.
Welcome to WOW Speaks English.
A streaming program with a radio format made by the students for the world.
Hola, soy Germán Gallego, el vicerrector académico de la UAO.
Y yo soy Ana Cuesta, estudiante de la UAO. Y juntos nos corresponde presentar los factores 5 y 11 de nuestro proceso de renovación de la acreditación institucional en alta calidad, que son estructura y procesos académicos y estudiantes.
Y les queremos presentar los 5 puntos más relevantes de estos 2 factores. El primero es que nuestra nueva política curricular busca transformar con conocimiento, a partir de las capacidades desarrolladas en nuestro ejercicio de formación, la interacción con el entorno y la investigación, creación, innovación y emprendimiento.
La segunda es saber que el mayor atributo de esta política curricular WOW es la formación centrada en el aprendizaje de nosotros los estudiantes para el desarrollo de competencias a partir de unas actividades de aprendizaje en contextos sociales y profesionales, para que seamos auténticos agentes de cambio en la sociedad.
La tercera es que la UAO desarrolla programas y rutas formativas para toda la vida, que son innovadoras, pertinentes y flexibles, lo cual permite que nuestros estudiantes alcancen no solo su perfil de egreso, sino enriquecerlo a través de trayectorias formativas de otros programas.
Cuarta es el Sistema Institucional de Evaluación de los Aprendizajes CIEA, que monitorea periódicamente el nivel de desempeño alcanzado por nosotros, los estudiantes de la UAO, durante nuestra formación.
Y la quinta reúne todas aquellas acciones encaminadas a que nuestros estudiantes puedan culminar exitosamente sus estudios aquí en la UAO, como por ejemplo el Centro para la Excelencia Académica, los programas PILOS, PASE, PAIN, Universidad Inclusiva, Escuela de Padres y todos aquellos escenarios que nuestros estudiantes podrán disfrutar en su experiencia formativa en la UAO.
Y esos son los 5 puntos claves de los factores 5 y 11 para nuestra renovación de la acreditación institucional en alta calidad. Recuerda que el éxito de este proceso es compromiso de todos nosotros.